everybody, this is Ooey Gooey Yui, and I am reporting to duty to give you updates on new games. So I'm working on my first Hytale video, got some cool ideas coming in, but in the process, they snuck in an update on us already. And they've done a couple patch notes, they've done a couple, connection issues, but woke up today to their first update. As I was skimming through it's a wide range. If we look at the photo here, the little snippet, we see a dinosaur running around in the background, so that was unexpected. So right off the bat, we have world and environment. Added dinosaurs and other NPCs to populate the underground jungles. They currently use placeholder behaviors and are a work in progress. So if anybody had dinosaurs on their 2026 bingo card to Hytale, I was not it. Now, going in, these new NPCs require a change to the environment and the biome, so you will need to generate new unexplored areas to see them. I have not explored all that much, been focused on building, so I think we should be fine. If not, we have teleporters. Devastated land sewers now have proper atmospheric effects and creature spawns. Areas beneath volcanoes now use volcanic environmental effects. That's good. I explored one of the sewers and they were it was jarring going between the two. Fixed entity placements, textures, and interiors in Fairy villages. Removed an invisible filler block behind the bench in the Forgotten Temple. Not sure what that one is. NPCs and creatures. Fire them NPCs and creatures now be immune to fire damage. However, they still catch on fire for now. That's going to change my entire approach to this, because I cannot tell you how many wraiths and burnt skeletons I have sent into the lava just to make quick work. Not to mention early exploration, iron farming is going to be a little differently. Skeletons should no longer take drowning damage. That makes sense. Quebec should be immune to the environment damage caused by cactus and brambles. That explains some things. I was playing on an SMP and somebody was being chased by all of the Quebecs in the region, and I think they hurt themselves and then aggroed on her. That one makes a little sense. Replace Chork, Shaman, Placeholder, Summon animation. Okay. Edit proper loot tables to Quebecs and Chorks. Who's killing Quebecs? Stop it! Whoever you are out there, stop! Don't, they're adorable. Can we, yeah? In the Whisper Frost Frontiers, livestock should no longer climb on top of the chicken coop. Thank goodness.
There now, your sheep can stop escaping.
Cautious wildlife predators such as the fox should no longer engage player unless attacked. Good.
Thank you.
Can we get the same for spiders?
Please. I'm tired of killing spiders.
Crafting items and farming. The backpack and its upgrades are now easier to obtain. Base backpack now requires a tier 1 workbench down from a tier 2. That's good. That's huge. Base backpack cost reduced to 8 medium leather. Also good. Upgrading the backpack for the first time now requires a tier 2 workbench down from tier 3. That's good. That is massive, because before tier 2 and tier 3 were both on the tier 3 workbench. Kind of redundant. Light, medium, heavy, high now takes 10 seconds less to process. That's huge. Crafting benches can now pull materials from chests within 14 blocks horizontally. Yes. And 6 blocks vertically. Processing benches now display item tooltips in the upgrade requirement panel. All raw fruits and vegetables should now only grant health regen 1. Cooking them grants additional benefits. Dropped items should no longer get stuck on the side of blocks. Thank goodness. That made early game exploring treacherous. But the offset that never really bothered me too much, though, we can jump 2 blocks in height. Mantle from 4. So it was never too much of an inconvenience, and I'm glad it's fixed. But, it was never too bad. Torches and other handheld light sources can now be placed on the ground while equipped in the utility slot, wielding a pickaxe or hatchet. Okay, cool. That was, yes. So now we can, instead of left click and right click, both mining away, which goes right into the next one of pickaxes and hatchets are now only swung when used the primary action. Core now gives 1 essence of life instead of 4 when exchanged in the farming bench, as it was previously misconfigured, making it better than higher tier crops. Fully grown cauliflower and pumpkin no longer drop regular seeds when broken by hand or with any tool. I didn't know they were doing that. Fully grown eternal crops no longer drop eternal seeds when broken by hand or with any tool. This must have been a glitch where if, instead of picking them up, if you were to punch the crops, they would have dropped seeds as well as the produce. And it's also plural, so I don't know if maybe they were getting like, there's like a duplication effect going in. Wood logs now display their respective wood type. Example, oak log would display hardwood in its tooltip. When crafting recipe previously required a type of trunk, this is now displayed correctly as log instead. Example, hardwood trunk is displayed as hardwood log in the recipe requirements. When a crafting recipe requires a specific log type, such as hardwood, the tooltip now displays which tree that can drop from. Example being, softwood log would display banyan, beech, and aspen in its tooltip. That is going to help a lot. If you watch my streams, you know that we do a lot of we've been doing a lot of testing and stuff, seeing where things drop, where things come from, and all of that. So it's nice seeing it actually being displayed in a quicker fashion. Woodcutter's block no longer displays as a dev item quality and no longer has its unused processing bench interaction. It is now a decorative furniture block that can be also crafted in the furniture bench. Audio and visual effects. So before we go on to the next one, just to do a quick recap on this, all of these are really good changes. The only one I'm concerned about is the fully grown eternal crops. I don't know. I'm not following that right off the bat. We'll explore a little bit of that in my next video. I'm gonna go in here and test this, but right now, these are all really good. The backpack being accessible early on, processing times being faster, crafting benches being further. All of these are really good upgrades, and it seems like they're focusing a lot on quality of life changes. All right, so we have some audio and visual effect changes. New hit and break sounds for stone, ores with additional layered effects. Horses now properly play running sounds. That's good. It was a little, absent. Torch burn loop replaced with softer ambient sound. That's a shame. I did enjoy that, but that makes sense. It does make sense. Adjusted volumes for cocoon breaking, pig, piglet, and warthog sounds. Okay. Reduce pitch variation on sword swing. Edit new ore breaking particle. I think before it looked like to me, it looked like liquid jutting out, so that's good. Edit fruit eating particles. More to come later for other food types. New particle effect now appears above NPCs' heads when absorbing their memory. Oh, that's cool. Updated health potion visual effects with new glitter, glow, and spiral particles. Nice. Fixed a rope offset when held in hand. Huh, I'm interested what that is. Fixed hand positioning for various plants, flowers, and foliage. So I'm eager to play around with these. So my next video, or at this point, my first Hytale video, will cover all of that. UI performance and quality of life. You can now sleep at 7:30. Thank goodness. 9 o'clock was a little late for these old bones. Added an information panel explaining the memory system. When interacting with the Heart of Orbis for the first time, it can be viewed again by clicking the question mark. That's good. The Heart of Orbis and the memory system is a really cool system. I love that the way that they gated the progression of the game through the memory system. I think that's a really cool setup. However, I do feel that they need to touch base on it a lot more. Toggle full screen, switch HUD, and take screenshot can no longer be bound to mouse buttons. I wonder why. The only thing I can think of for this one is if just basic code level issues. Sometimes games get weird. I know that when I was playing Enshrouded, I had certain buttons bound to the mouse, and when the game would boot up, how the game was coded, it would kind of have a hiccup. So that's what I'm guessing for that, unless there's some glitch I don't know about. The game now warns when launching pre-release versions or opening worlds from different versions. Okay, that's good. Field of view while sprinting is now limited to 160 degrees to prevent hyperdrive effect. Canceling land server discovery now works correctly. The interaction system now handles server lag spikes better. Good. That's all very good improvements. And then right off the bat, the parts that, we all care about, customizations and cosmetics. We now have a cat eye, demonic eye, goat eye, and reptile eyes. We have large mouth and tiny lips. Lavender hair color, reworked bangs hairstyle, and bright and dark brown color. And the featherbound hood is now correctly showing for the supporter edition. Before, this confused me when I was going through it. It actually showed as 3 stars. It showed as unlocked, but it showed as 3 stars. It was confusing. Weapon attack should now check for line of sight. The regular burn effect now generally deals less damage. Burn applied by lava remains unchanged. Cactus and brambles now deal the environmental damage type. All good changes. I'm eager to see how the weapon attacks play out. I think what this is going to be is that you can't pre-attack now. Command and server. Fix teleport. Give command now supports specifying item durability. Whitelist and ban commands now support both online usernames and offline UUIDs. Server now uses bottleneck bandwidth, and then more technical stuff. Bug fixes. Fixed a misconfiguration that allowed weapon charged attacks to not consume stamina correctly when swapping into another hotbar slot at the right time. See, item swapping, this goes back to so many games. I'm on both sides of the fence. Obviously, it should still use stamina, but it's interesting to me that people are already finding out item swap effects. Signature ratio, I'm playing incorrectly in adventure mode. This happens when you charge your weapon up, swap to an offhand weapon, or just any other item. When you go back to your signature weapon, it plays a sound as if it recharged, so they fixed that. Regular expression parsing and replace command. Fix an issue where signature attacks could be used without signature energy. I don't think I spammed enough buttons when I've been playing. That's what I mean, it doesn't matter now, but what I'm gathering is I've not been spamming enough buttons. Fix some items allowing longer interaction ranges than intended. Fix fluid flow behavior when stacking water sources. Fix a crash when using non-English folders. Fix a crash when selecting certain hairstyles. By corrupt cache avatar previews. And when memory plugin fails to load. Fix an issue where rewards from restoring memories were granted too early. Did not match the correct number of memories required. See this? I'm eager to see how this one is going to play out because I had this issue. So I'm eager to see how that's going to pan. Fixed waiting for chunks taking too long. Fixed crash when updating player model. Localized loop affecting Norwegian language users. Fixed race condition and instance teleport that cause entity removal and re-add issues. Fixed session refresh for single player servers. Fixed various issues with crop growth, where certain crops like tomatoes would not grow correctly. Chunks are now saved when farming block updates. This took me 3 in-game days to grow tomatoes because I was teleporting. So I'd plant them, be like, all right, my farming diligences are done. I'm out of here. And I'd come back and they were completely gone. The water state was gone and I'd had to restart. So when I finally figured out how to fix this, and this goes like just in a general sense of this game, do all your farming before bed. Before you're about to go sleep, do your farming, fertilizing, and watering right before bed with a time skip that still processes the time of the day passing, the hours passing. All your plants should be grown by the time you wake up. It's the most efficient way. And the extra is a little paw print. Interesting. So, a lot of good changes. Like dinosaurs, not expecting backpacks early, better farming behavior, and my chickens staying where they need to stay. All of these are really good improvements. Eager to see how they play out in the game. You'll see it all in my upcoming video. And in the comments below, leave what you think of the changes, if you think they're good or bad, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much, and have fun exploring. Bye!